Welcome to Driving Immersion. This is the immersive racing experience. Studio 397's Le Mans Ultimate is a very detailed simulation of the World Endurance Championship. This is a continuation of our full 24 hours of Le Mans series. We will be racing in Le Mans Ultimate using as much of its simulation factors to be as close to the racing as possible. We drive from the cockpit without any assists except for what exists in the car. There is collision and damage, tire wear, and fuel use, including virtual energy. Give us a like and click on subscribe so that you don't miss any of it.
Okay, time now is 6:47 p.m. with the race start at 4:30, so a couple of hours and 27 minutes into the race. This is going to be our fourth stint, and you can see here the tires are pretty worn. We're going to go with a set of the...
So you can see the soft tires going a double stint are pretty worn at 35%. We are going to experiment with a staggered setup and put on a set of the hard tires in the rear and medium tires in the front, just for additional grip. And then we are going to reduce the rear tire pressure by just 1 pound. Still not going to the minimum, which is 19. And depending on how these do with the daylight hours and temperature, we may just bring them down to 19 once it gets dark, as the track cools.
Fuel, we're going to stay the same, 0.95 fuel ratio, and that is going to take us 38 seconds, so a total estimated 51 seconds. Right now, I know we have damage in our rear.
So in the last couple of stints, we've had damage in the rear of the vehicle, namely the right rear, but it's not showing up here as something that needs to be repaired, so we're going to continue on. And if you've got a better idea on strategy here at this point, comment below. But here we go.
So tires 12 seconds, virtual energy 52. Don't know exactly why it would take a bit longer here. Right now we are P1, that is Matt Gemini. In P2 he's be coming around in about 7 seconds. We'll still be in the pits. I think we're going to lose out to Antonio Fuoco in the Ferrari, but Pierre we may be able to get ahead of him.
So we wait for the virtual energy to be applied to the vehicle. It's 52 seconds this time around. Usually it's been about 40, so don't know what the difference is, but excruciating waiting here for the timer to expire. And one thing to add, there is no notification here that you are free and ready to go.
So what we need here is something in the pits to tell us that stop is finished, other than dropping the car. Yep, we'll go this through. So those rear tires are just breaking loose under heavy acceleration, and we're just going to need to just let them heat up a little bit here.
5.92.
I've noticed that after you come in and take care of your pits and you exit, all of the bollards are actually put back into their proper places, which is pretty cool, I think. So there was a very sweet yellow, might have been putting that prototype up there. So again, early evening here in Le Mans. The sun is still pretty high up, but that's where it was setting. We're losing time here, but hard tires in the back, we don't know how they're going to be. It's possible these GT3s may have more grip than us. Through these corners. So tested the rear tires just then. They are still ready and willing to brake. Number 51 right behind us.
5.55.
Oh! I just touched the brakes a little bit. Oh, it's going to be a big hit.
Big spin there for the number 8 Toyota. Looking like minimal damage here, and we are able to continue on.
Tires. Why is there track limits? Oh my god, I gotta stop and go.
There are a lot of crashes after turn 1, as there is a big weight transfer that has to occur before you turn left into turn 2, and a lot of times that is why you'll see a lot of cars fall off the track. And in fact, that's exactly what happened with the number 8.
they have rim now. They're up to 70 Celsius, I believe. And we are experiencing a major vibration.
Big spin by one of the Ferrari GT3s in front of the number 8. And here is an outside look of the number 8 after the spin out of turn 1. You can see there is a lot of wrinkle and distortion in the front of the vehicle. No dangling parts, however. And there's also just a little bit of noticeable wrinkling in the right rear again from a previous spin. And I think that was on the first lap at turn 1. So again, having a look around, car seems to be in reasonable shape. There is damage indicated now on the HUD. But the only damage that is felt on the vehicle is a vibration in the steering wheel, and that is due to the flat spotting of the tires as a result of the skid. So on the second lap of the 4th stint, we're going to continue on to drive the vehicle the way that it is. We do have a lot of fuel and virtual energy left, and it is drivable, and we're going to see the timing and as far as the laps are going to be, and see if we can survive the existing damage on the car or come in and have it replaced or repaired.
We've got to come in for our stop and go. So we were penalized for a track limits violation on that stint, which is a little incorrect. We do have vibration in the steering wheel right now. off there. They don't do any work. Just give us a pit stop or a stop and go. Stop and go 16 seconds. Oliver Rasmussen, 8th place, 3 seconds behind. We've got the push. So the moral of the lesson here is, if you can get slower, if you can go slower with the coach tires, do it. It's definitely not worth the spin and damage. Try and push them before they are warm. Those hard tires are not very grippy. lot of virtual energy, but you gotta push. Oh, somebody just crashed. I believe that was Oliver Rasmussen. His time is fading fast. Definitely went off into the gravel.
Lap 3:37.86. Using a lot of energy, 8.52 in the last lap. We are now at 36%. Oh, big save. Very big save. Can't touch those rear tires.
Lap 3:37.90.
Energy level. Oh, come on. Definitely going to have extra fuel this time around. So we are racing this car ahead of us. Is one lap down at this point. Ferrari come into the pits again. Yes, I believe everybody had came into the pits. So right now that is how much we may be ahead on efficiency. get back to efficiency after this stint. It's going to be a drag race with a Ferrari. Now they may be safe mode. We'll see in a minute. No, they are not. Probably he really went deep into that corner.
Big crash there for the BMW GT3. We saw that from the cockpit of the number 8 as he was going through the gravel, eventually hitting the guardrail, and you can see here just at the exit of the Mulsanne corner he is blocking the track. But back to racing with the Ferrari and the Toyota, now catching up to a Mustang through the Andretti corner.
Definitely racing with that Ferrari there. Hit there with the LMP2. We're going to have to block off that Ferrari. Yes. Very crowded. So breathing room right now. Our energy level at 14%. No way we're making another lap.
So after a couple of laps of very heated racing here with the number 50 Ferrari, we have not been able to save any fuel or virtual energy. And right now we are looking at the readings on the steering wheel. We do not have another lap. So we call in for a pit stop to refuel at the end of this lap. The number 50 Ferrari now ahead of the number 8.
Oh, so many things going. No spin.
The number 8 getting very messy here at the Andretti corner. A lot of time wasted as we struggle to get the car pointing back in the right direction.
So we just have a big hit. GR coming in.
And now in our rear view, one of the Porsches. On board with the number 4 Penske Porsche. This is going to be Matthew Jaminet, and he's been very fast throughout the weekend so far. A little nudge from him, and Mars Medina in the number 8 has to save it again.
For a while. Let's go in. Oh, go down here. There is the car. That was tough. That was a tough stint.
So this is the end of the 4th stint and the 4th segment of our 24 Hours of Le Mans series.
We're still in the race, however.
It's been a very complicated stint. The hard tires in the rear had made it more difficult to race with the other cars, and we were actually planning on trying to conserve more fuel and energy and extending our stints. So we are going to look at a different compound. Unfortunately, here at Le Mans Ultimate, there's no way of knowing how many tires of which compound we have left or which we can use. So we are trying to distribute the use here by putting them on, and it didn't work out here for the 4th stint. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get notified when the next segment is available. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.